If you clicked on this video, you might be a small business owner and you're looking for all different ways to increase your sales and your profit, and also to get your brand out there. Or you would like to become one and you would like to know how to prepare and how to run your business effectively. Watch this video to get 10 tips about how you can make your most profitable pop-up shop ever. A little disclaimer, in this case I'm talking about making your pop-up shop at some organized events like farmers markets or crafts fairs, some festivals, conventions and so on. So some big events that have already attracted their audience, and it's not only your work to do so. My name is Natalia. I own a lifestyle brand ITAMARU, inspired by Italy and the idea of Dolce Vita, and I sell apparel, handmade scented candles and home decor. You can find the link to my online shop in the description. By the way, I do worldwide delivery. All the tips that I will give you are based on my own experience. I've started making my pop-up shops at different events in Milan about a year ago, and from my first event with just one sale to my latest events with many sales and a good profit, I've learned a lot, and I think it's precious information that could help others. So let's get immediately to the tips that could help you to make your most profitable pop-up ever. First tip, find your audience. Even before starting to subscribe to different events, you should know what is the target audience for your brand. I've started the sales for my brand from my online shop, and the first couple of years I've never done pop-ups, so I had some idea about my target audience because I already had some customers from different countries, and I could imagine the persona that would love my products. But when you sell online, of course, you can see these people and you can just make your idea about the people that are attracted by your brand. So I needed to learn this part through trial and error, and the pop-ups that I did last year really helped me with it. I've made my very first pop-up in December 2023, but I don't consider it because it was a very, very small event organized by some people that I got to know, and it wasn't some big event with existing audience. It was just a small event organized by a couple of girls that invited their friends, and other sellers invited their friends. So I don't consider this pop-up, and I will tell you my experience from my first big pop-up that was in April last year. It was quite a famous vintage market and crafts fair in Milan. It's not the biggest one, but it's well known and it has its own audience. And it was not in the center of the city. It was a bit far from the center, and it was placed in the area where many students live, because there are some houses for students. So the main audience were young people, mostly students. And of course, it's not the most high spending audience. And I've noticed that even if they loved my products, the prices for them were quite high. So at my very first big events, relatively big, I had only one sale, and it was a sale for my friend. So I can't even consider it as a result of this pop-up. Of course, I was devastated after that event, and I thought that I would never ever participate in markets. But I've learned many things from that event, and it really helped me to improve my performance at the next events. So what I've learned from that event, first of all, that the audience, the main audience that was there is not my kind of audience, because I realized that my audience, I mean, the people that bring me the most profit are quite high spending people. It's not super young people, because of course to be in a high spending category, you need to work. And of course, students usually don't do it, or they work just part-time, so they don't have all this money to spend on not necessary things. And it's not that my products are extremely expensive. They are high quality products because I use sustainable materials and I use European suppliers and so on. So the price for my products is justified. For example, my medium candle costs something like 29 euros, and my t-shirts that I presented at that event cost around 40 euros. I mean, their price on the website, if it's embroidered t-shirt, is 45 euro, and if it's printed t-shirt, it's 39 euro, and it's organic cotton. And usually at the events like this, I make the prices a bit lower for my apparel. So consider that the price was something around 40 euro. And what I've realized is that my audience is a high spending audience, not only because my products are not very cheap, but also because that kind of audience appreciates not only the price of the product, but also the quality and the uniqueness of the product. And the point is that I realized that my products really have value and they have their own audience, because at the next events where the audience was different, I was doing much better, and I really had a good profit. So what you can learn from my experience: it doesn't matter how good is your product, but if the audience of the event where you participate with your pop-up shop is not right for you, you might not have many sales. As pop-ups require a lot of hard work, physical work and preparations, it's quite tiring. You should really choose wisely at which events you want to participate. The only problem is that very often, until you try them, you can't know for sure where you will find your audience. So it's absolutely okay to try different events in different areas and to see what works for you and what doesn't. Of course, it depends where you live and where you go for the events. But if you live in a big city, for example, I live in Milan. I'm lucky that I live here because it's a big city with many events and opportunities, and I can choose from them. If you also live in a big city or near some big city where you can realistically go to participate at the markets, I would consider you to choose the events that have exactly the audience that is right for you, and also to choose the biggest ones. The only problem is that usually the price of participation in the big events is quite high, but usually it's justified by the big traffic of people, what usually brings you more sales. I've also noticed that the events that take some payment for the entrance, for example, some events where I participated, they take like 5 euros for entrance, very often have a higher quality audience, because it seems like when people pay for the entrance, they are already motivated to buy something from the vendors there. So the first lesson is, don't think that your products or your setup is wrong. First of all, think about the audience. My second tip is that you should have a vast choice of products in different price ranges. It is very important if you want to sell to different kinds of people at the events. It's another thing that I've learned on my mistakes, because at my first events, I only had my most expensive products, and I saw that people really loved them, but there were many people that couldn't afford them or were just not ready to spend that amount of money to try a new brand for them. So I realized that it's not the problem of products when it comes to lost sales in these cases, but it's just the price range. And I realized that there is a price range around 20 euro that is quite comfortable for people, but there are also many people that would like to buy something small at these markets. And if you have something that costs less than 10 euro, $10, it's always a good option. I was thinking how I can create a product in this price range, and I decided to make these small tins for my candles. I mean, it's very cute. You see, it's like a colorful tin. If you open it, you can see it's a very cute small candle. And the packaging is very attractive. People really loved it. It's a small size. I mean, it's something like 40 grams candle, but it has the same quality as my bigger products. For example, I made these small tins with most of my fragrances, and they were all colorful and beautiful and different. And I saw that people at the events really, really loved them. I was selling them for €7, and I've sold many, many items for this price. So I've realized that this way I managed to capture the customers that maybe wouldn't buy my more expensive products, and maybe next time they will try my mini candles and they would love to buy a bigger one. So it's a really good way to increase your profit and also to get new customers that have a chance to try your products without spending too much, to be sure that the quality is on point, and maybe later they will come back for some bigger products. I don't know what you're selling, but anyway, consider making different kinds of products for the events. Because as I've noticed, usually at the markets, at festivals, people are not ready to buy very expensive products. For example, I have even more expensive products in my collections, like, for example, this kind of beautiful velvet embroidered pillows. It's all huge embroidery, as you see. It's also from my collection, but I don't even bring them to the markets because they cost more than €100. They are completely made in Italy, and it's unique pieces. So I don't even bring them to markets because I know that this price is too high for these kind of events. That's why I bring to the markets usually my scented candles and also my apparel, but also apparel, I bring mostly t-shirts that have a lower price compared to my sweatshirts or hoodies, for example. So no matter what you sell, think about how you can make a bigger choice of the products and also a bigger choice in sense of price ranges. Because I've noticed that since I've added cheaper options like these mini candles, my profit at each event grew exponentially. Third tip: be ready to accept cash and cards. You can't imagine how it's important until you do the events, because the ratio between the customers that want to pay with cards and cash is always a bit different, but on average it can be 50-50. So if you, for example, don't have the way to accept cards, you will be losing like 50% of your profit. And also, if you accept cash but you don't have small coins or small bills to give the change to the customer, it can be also very annoying. So when you participate in such events, be sure that you're well prepared, that you have enough cash to give the change, you have the small bills, the coins, and that you also can accept the cards. Nowadays, it's very easy. You can just buy some POS that you can connect with the app to your phone. For example, I use some app, and it's very cheap and easy, and also the commission is not very high. So there are many kinds of POS like this, and you can easily buy them and use at your pop-ups. Another tip is organize your setup wisely. It doesn't mean only that it must be cute and nice and attractive for your customers in the visual way, but also the best way to attract the customers, to show them the products in the best way. You should build up your setup closer to the eye level of your customers. For example, at my first big pop-up, I had only a table with the candles that were just put on the table. Besides the fact that I had really few products, I had only like 3 cents of the candles because it was my first try of making the candles in general. And besides that, I didn't have anything that was bringing them closer to the eye level of the people. And for my next pop-ups, I realized that I need to fix it, and I bought a couple of razors. If I call it right, I just ordered them on Amazon. They were quite cheap, and it really improved the impression of my setup, because when people were passing by my table, they immediately saw my products that were well exposed, because all my candles They were mostly put on these razors, and other candles that were open to be some kind of testers, they were closer to the customers so they could easily grab them. Of course, it depends on what you sell, but if you sell some small things or candles or accessories and other things, try to build up your setup so your products will be a bit higher. Don't make just your flat setup on the table. It doesn't work as well as the setup with the razors and other things. Another tip, give your customers the time and space to look around and choose. Don't put too much pressure to the people as soon as they come to your table. Don't look needy. Don't interrupt them while they are looking at your products, because I've noticed that people really need a couple of minutes just to look around to see what they like, to read something on the labels or on the boards that you put on your table. So let them do it. Usually, when people come to my table at the events, I don't talk to them immediately. I just may smile if they look at me and let them look around a bit. And maybe a bit later, I usually tell that all my candles are handmade and they are made of soy wax because it's like a sustainable and healthy choice. So it's the only thing that I'm telling them before they make the questions, because it helps them to understand the value of the product and maybe also to understand the price range of my products. So it's the only thing that I tell them, because it's not written in big letters on the table. And then I just wait if they make any questions. Sometimes when I see that they are wandering around for a long time, I may ask them which kind of scents they usually like. And if they reply to this question, I can suggest some of the candles. So they don't need to try all of them, but they try precisely the ones that could be right for them. But in general, that's all. Another thing that I've noticed is usually it's better to be standing while you communicate with the customers, not sitting on the chair. And for sure, you shouldn't look at your cell phone when you're talking to your customers. So be present, but don't put too much pressure on them, because there are really many shy people that don't like when you make too many questions or don't let them look around without telling anything. My fifth tip about how to increase your profits at the pop-ups and not only is, don't focus only on in-person sales. I mean, don't focus only on your sales at the pop-up. I don't know how you manage your business and if you have an online shop or not yet, or maybe you have just Instagram page because you've started not long time ago. But believe me, nowadays you can't make business without online presence. It's not expensive and it's not hard to make an online shop, because there are many platforms like Shopify, Wix, and others that let you create your own online shop without knowing coding and other things. So you really don't have any excuse to not be present online with your products. This way, even if you don't sell much at some events, you don't put too much pressure on yourself, because you realize that you are going to these events not only to sell in person, but also to create your brand awareness and to bring people to your online shop later. So when the people come to your table and maybe also buy something or don't buy but want to take your contacts, always tell them that you have online shop if you have one, or even if you have an Instagram page, you can tell that they can contact you and they can make an order online, and also motivate them to take your contacts. For example, I'm doing it in the way that my business cards don't look like business cards. They look like beautiful postcards that have my contacts. They have my Instagram page and the QR code to my online shop, but they look like postcards. So people are really happy to take them for free. Not only because I have my contacts there, but because they can also use them for gifts later, and it's not something that they will just throw out. I will show you my branded postcards that I was using lately, because I think that they are really beautiful, and it's true because people take them a lot at the events. I run out of them very fast. So this is my regular card with the words Omnia vincit amor, what means love conquers all. And it was one of my collections. Some of my apparel have this kind of print, and I just loved the idea, this phrase, and I decided to put it on the card. And on this side you can see that there is my logo, my Instagram account, the Instagram account of my brand, and the QR code to my online shop. And actually it doesn't look like a business card, it's just a beautiful postcard that you can use to write something to your loved ones, to your friends, and to add to some gifts. So people really love to take them, and they take my contacts with them. So if they remember that they want to find my shop, they can just check them here. This card, for example, I was using for my Christmas markets. It is very beautiful. I was really proud about how it turned out. We created it with an artist. It was a watercolor drawing with the Duomo di Milano, the main cathedral in Milan, because it's the symbol of the city, and my brand was was born and founded in Milan, and I'm based in Milan. So that's why I decided to make these cards for the Christmas markets. And you can see that it's the same here like the other cards, with my contacts and my logo. I think it's a good idea to motivate people to take your contacts because it's not just some boring business card. As I know that I don't want to make markets forever, or I would like to make them to talk to people in person because I love it, but I don't want to make too many of them during the year. For me, it's much more important to bring these people to my online shop. Another great way to save the contacts of your customers during the pop-ups, you can make, for example, a giveaway for the subscription to your mailing list. I did it once during my pop-ups. I just made a QR code to the form where people can subscribe to my mailing list, and printed it to show them at the event. And then after they subscribed, I chose 3 people that won a candle from me, and I've sent them a free candle. So it is also a great way to start to collect your mailing list contacts, also providing some value to people. Like, for example, free products from the giveaway in my case. My 7th tip is have a consistent presence at the most important events. If you are going to the same events time after time, people start to remember you. And it is very important because not all people are ready to buy something from you right away when they see you for the first time for different reasons. Maybe they don't need that kind of product at that moment, or they didn't have extra money to buy it. There can be many reasons. But if you participate at the same events time after time, very often the audience is quite the same, especially it's in some big cities. Very often there is some kind of people that go to these kind of events regularly, and they will remember your brand. So not only they can become your online customers in some way, but also they can buy from you, maybe not at your first event, but at your second or third event. So don't underestimate consistency, and let people remember your brand and also your face, because you are the face of your brand. I know it because when I was participating in different events in Milan, very often I saw that people were very excited when I was telling that I'm doing all my candles myself. So they really loved the idea of seeing not only the founder of the brand, but actually the person that hand makes all the products. Another tip to increase your profit is to make bundle deals or gift sets. You can always find a way to motivate people to buy more. For example, you can tell that if they buy 3 candles, they can get the fourth for free, or any other product, I mean. Or you can create very attractive gift sets that increase the medium check that they spend. but maybe buying the gift set, they pay less for each product in it compared to if they buy just one product from the same gift set. You understand what I mean? Unfortunately, at my Christmas pop-ups, I didn't have something like bundles or gift sets. I mean, the packed ones. But for example, when I saw that people were ready to buy many items, I was telling them that I can give them a little discount if they buy more. And sometimes when they were taking different items, I was also giving them something small for free as a gift for their order. It also makes them happy and works quite well. My ninth very important tip is that you should promote your pop-ups on social media or through mailing list or both if you have it in advance. Believe me, it works really well because I had quite many customers that told me that they follow me on Instagram, that follow the page of my brand, and they came directly to these events to buy something from me. There were also people from other countries that came to Milan to buy something from me. For example, there was a girl from Germany that really made my day. She told me that she follows my Instagram page, the page of my brand, and she came to Milan to study, and it was her goal to come to the event where I did my pop-up and to buy something from me. So really don't consider only the audience that is attracted by the event itself. Also work a bit yourself to attract your own customers, because your customers and also your followers, the followers on Instagram or any other platform, they're already more loyal for your brand because they are more informed about it if you post well. So don't underestimate promoting your pop-up in advance on all your social media platforms and through mailing lists. And the last but not less important tip is have something special about your brand and your products. Because also, if you consider all the previous tips that I told you about and you do everything well, if your products are not on point, if they don't have some unique value proposition, you may have hard time selling them. Because of course the market is very saturated now. There are many products of different kinds. You also need to compete with some industrial productions and some big international brands. And people have less and less free money to spend on non-essential products. So you really need to attract them with something special. For example, when it comes to my brand, I have quite a precise concept and idea behind it. It's all about Italy and Italian lifestyle, the famous Dolce Vita. So that's what make my products and brand special. It has some special mood. And besides it, for example, when it comes to my scented candles, of course, there are many scented candles on the market, and also at the events, at the craft fairs, there are usually some other vendors that sell candles. It's quite popular now, and you need to be sure that your products stand out. For example, my candles stand out because they have a really nice and quite professional design. You can see, I don't know if now, yes, now it's focused. For example, this is one of my best-selling candles from my Milanese collection that is called Shura. This fragrance is called Shura. And you see that it's a really nice graphics, nice label that I created with the graphic designer following my idea. It's the graphics of Duomo di Milano, the main cathedral, because it's the symbol of the city, and everything is minimal but very stylish and nice. And besides that, also the candle is made really well. I do it myself by hand. And it's a handmade product, but it looks professional. I also had some people that came to my table and they were sure that it's some industrial brand. I mean, because the products are made so precisely that some people don't understand immediately that it's a handmade product. So I love the idea that even being an artisanal handmade product, it looks professional. It will decorate your house well. It really has a chance to be a part of very stylish home decor. besides the fragrance and the quality of the candle. And as you see, the name of the scent is Shura. And it's not that the name of the scent is something what is actually inside this candle. For example, I would write peony and I don't know, pepper, something like this, if it was just the scent as the name. But I created a concept for it. For example, Shura in Milanese dialect, it means a very stylish, mature signora, lady, that knows how to enjoy her life, that knows how to present herself, how to dress up in a very beautiful way. So it has some concept. It's like a description of a special character that lives in Milan, and not only, it's in general now a way to call cool older ladies in Italy, and not only older ladies, but in general a cool woman. So that's what I'm talking about. Your product should have something special about it. And I had many people at these events that were looking around. They wanted to buy candles, and there were also other vendors that were selling candles. And many people were wandering around for a couple of hours to see what they like, and they were coming back to my table and telling me that they wanted to buy the candles, and they chose mine because they were cooler than the others. And many told that they loved the names of my candles because they were never about just the scents. I never called them just like, I don't know, vanilla or lavender, or I don't know, anything like this. I give some original names to my candles and to my fragrances. So that's what I'm talking about. You need to be unique, and you need to be different from others. It will really help you to stand out, and to have more customers and to have more sales. And it will be also easier for people to remember your brand if it's not just some generic stuff. I hope that you loved this video and that these tips will help you to become better at the events, to make your pop-ups very profitable and fun and successful, and also to bring customers to your online shop, and to continue to grow your business and to create your own empire. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will try my best to reply to them. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, and also to follow my pop-ups and markets series, where I share my experience at all the markets that I did in Milan, and not only. And see you very soon. Ciao!